Hello gamers, and welcome back to another episode of Solo Spelunking. And today we will be going back into the darkness of space because it is finally time to continue my ongoing Star Wars campaign adventures in the Keldor Sector. This will be the start of Season 4 in this campaign. So Season 4 already. And what you can see here in my setup for those first-time viewers, those will be the resources that I will be using in this season. So it has somehow become tradition that every season features a different rule set. And this season will feature my Space Borg conversion of the Mörk Borg rules, because it's not really a conversion. Basically, it's Mörk Borg reskinned for space opera adventures with some additional starship combat rules and rules for using the Force, but it's basically Mörk Borg. So if you want to check this out, you can get this on Drive-Thru RPG. And I also did a product overview video for this rule set, and I will feature this during this season of my Star Wars campaign, so you can see it in action. And the other main resource that I will be using is my solo RPG framework and toolbox for space opera games. And this has recently become an Electrum seller at Drive-Thru RPG. So thank you for your support there. And yeah, it will be used to generate mainly random encounters and events, star systems, and whatever it is I will need, rumors, jobs. Yeah, so this is another resource that you can get on Drive-Thru RPG that I will be featuring in this series, and I featured this in all the other series as well. So for those of you who tuned in for the first time, since this is already Season 4, there's been quite a character development thing going on, so you should be able to jump right in. But if you want to get the full experience, I encourage you to start at Season 1. And if you don't want to do that, you can just watch the first episode of Season 1, where I talk about the backdrop of the campaign a little. And I will also recommend watching Season 2, Episode 11, because this episode features sort of like a character development episode where Nash and Rhya sit and talk. And there you will also learn something about the background of one of my characters, which is Rhya. Yeah, so speaking of characters, this season will feature two main characters. Ladies first, this is Rhya Cloudshadow of Eldred, an Eldridian shadow huntress of the Council of Elders. And like I said, if you want to know what that is, watch Season 2, Episode 11. The short version is a secret order of guardians that protect their secret homeworld from the Empire, and not only from the Empire, but from Discovery. And they do whatever is necessary to keep the secret of their race, because they're Force sensitive and they don't want the Empire to drill down on them. And the traveling Eldridians, they have forged ID cards that state that they're Selphi, another pointed ear species. So that is basically their disguise. And the other character is Nash Duncan, human scoundrel, smuggler, and flyer for hire. Think Han Solo with serial numbers filed off. So your standard dashing, fast talking, gambling loving, fast drawing smuggler. And they've been traveling together for a while now. They're a couple. They've become lovers at the end of Season 2. And they travel aboard this starship. It is an old YR-1080, a predecessor of the YT lines of starships, which I have totally made up. And it just recently got a new transponder code and registry. So this vessel is now the Never Too Late. It was the Versatile Rust Bucket before, but we had to change transponder codes because we are wanted, or were wanted, by the Empire. And all these adventures, they take place in the Keldor Sector, which is a region of space in the Outer Rim. and during the past seasons we have made contact with a rebel cell that is located on Lero, and we are sort of like freelance smugglers for them. And if we are not on a mission for them, we might go on a mission for the Council of Elders, or just do some normal money earning, smuggling. And so that's basically the short backdrop of this campaign for those of you just tuning in. And we start our adventure for this season in the rebel camp on the planet Lero. And Lero is an uninhabited planet that features an untamed wilderness with very dangerous wildlife. And this rebel camp there is protected by an energy shield because the wildlife is so dangerous. The only safe way in and out is by starship, and they can only open this shield for a very short amount of time. And yeah, this is where we're at and where we ended the last season. And our ship, the Never Too Late, is damaged. It is only at 6 points of hull, so we need to get some repairs going. And also last season we saved the life of a technician, a woman called Cassandra, on the planet Velas, an entertainment, gambling and recreational world in the Keldor Sector. And the deal was that she, as a payback, owes us 2 modifications. So she has agreed to boost our sublight speed and also boost our shield generator a little. So the first course of action actually should be to go there, get the ship repaired, and get the upgrades made. And this, of course, all with our new transponder code. So this is basically the backdrop, and this is where we start the adventure. So we are just, let's just say our ship is docked there, and we are in the ship. We've just said farewell to the rebels. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I got a new mug because my old Rhya Cloudshadow mug sadly broke because I dropped it while rinsing it. And so now I got a new mug, and it features on this side Nash, Duncan, and Lula from my prequel adventure series, and this side features Nash, Duncan, and Rhya from the current campaign. So I just got myself a nice little new mug made for the Star Wars campaign. All right. So Nash goes, well, Rhya, as far as I can see it, we don't have any immediate tasks for the rebels or the council to do, and the ship is in bad shape. So I suggest we go back to Velas, keep a low profile with our new transponder code, seek out Cassandra, and get these upgrades made and the ship repaired. So we probably have to pay for the repairs because they weren't part of the deal, but the upgrades she still owes us. So I think for whatever mission we take on next, our chances are greatly improved if we are faster and more shielded. And Rhya says, of course, that sounds like a good course of action. Let's hope we get those upgrades and repairs done before there's anything coming up with the council again. And Nash says, well, why? Have you heard anything? Is there anything brewing? No, not that I know of, but you never know with the council. Yeah, indeed. So I'll just say our goodbyes to Tula. So a little OOC here, do not mix them up. So Nash's former 10 years ago prequel series lover was called Lula, and this is Tula, our rebel contact, but she's also a green-skinned Twi'lek. Actually, I was using also the same miniature. So yeah, so this is Tula. Yeah, so I say goodbye to Tula, and she know how to reach us, and then we are good to go. Yeah, you do that. I'll just wait here. And she says, well, why don't I just start the pre-launch sequence? I mean, I've had quite a few hours of training, and I think I'm up to it to get the ship ready for takeoff. And Nash goes, well, why stop there? Why don't I just take a seat in the co-pilot's chair again, and you take us out and get us to Velas? So little OOC, while we were traveling together, Nash sort of trains Rhya to become a pilot herself. So she's already a capable gunner. And usually during space combat, Nash is piloting and she is manning the turret. But she also trains to become a pilot herself and can handle routine tasks. Yeah, all right. So I go through the pre-launch sequence, and Nash just he goes to Tula and says, well, Tula, if there's nothing you got for us right now, yeah, thanks again for the transponder. We'll head back to Velas to get some modifications made that are owed to us, and also the ship repaired. It is in bad shape. I wouldn't, even if you had something to do for us, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking on a mission with the ship in such a bad shape. The hull took quite a beating. Yeah, you're right. You're not good to us, dead, or it would be a waste if any cargo falls into Imperial hands. Yeah, indeed. So you know how to reach us. Yes. Good luck and goodbye. Okay. So we launch and head for the edge of the gravity well and calculate a course back to Velas. So where did I put the map here? So hyperspace lane to Velas, so it takes us 2 hours to Keldor and 4 hours to Velas. So that is 6 hours times my now improved hyperdrive multiplier of 0.1 or times 1.5. So I'll add another 3 hours to that. So that is a 9-hour trip to Velas. Which means by my random encounter rules that are also here in Space Borg. So I said I wanted to showcase the product also. So usually my products, they feature a hyperlinked table of contents, which means if you click on the entry, it brings you to the section. And if you clicked on the page number, you go back to the table of contents. And Hyperspace travel states, using a well-established route is easy, difficulty rating 6, intellect check to calculate a route. And for every fraction of 10 hours, here random encounters, and this is a fraction of 10 hours because it's 9 hours, you roll, if you use a well-traveled route, a d10, and on a 1 there's a random encounter while traveling through hyperspace, and there's a random encounter table in here as well. So we launch, we head for the edge of the gravity well, and Nash says, well, that was a smooth launch, Rhya, but do you also feel confident enough to do some astrogation work, some hyperspace calculations? And she looks at me. Actually, I think I do, because it's a well-traveled, or not a well-traveled, but a known hyperspace lane. So it shouldn't be that hard. Only a couple of adjusting calculations for the calculations that are already recorded. Indeed. So I'll look over your shoulder. Let's see if you can handle it. So her intellect is only +1, but it's only a DR6. So her dice are purple. Oh, and can't be happening. It is the first roll of this season, and I mean, those of you watching for a while now, you know my bad luck, and of course, that is a critical failure. But let's see. If you fail the check, because this is lucky, because it's a well-established route. If you fail the check, this simply does not enter hyperspace and you have to recalculate next round. It would be more severe if it would be a completely unknown route, completely unknown calculations. This could lead to catastrophic failure. So as she is about to press the button, Nash goes, "Stop, stop, stop." And Rhya says, "What is it, Nash?" "Let's recheck your gravitational compensation calculations." Little tech babble here. And she looks at the calculations and goes, "Damn, I didn't do any." Exactly. So this case, it wouldn't be a problem because it's a well-known route. Probably the ship just wouldn't jump. But if we were to try to calculate a completely new route, this could lead to severe damage and failure. Oh, thanks for pointing that out. Well, the good thing is I will not forget again, she says. And she recalculates and now adjusts for gravitational compensation. And now I'm giving her advantage because it would be too embarrassing if she would fail again. But I'm giving her advantage because of the help she got. Lucky that I granted her advantage because she would have again only rolled a 3. So this time, thanks to the input from Nash, we're all set and jump into hyperspace. So we got 9 hours to kill, and there's this mottled blue hyperspace tunnel that you know if you've watched any Star Wars. And we travel through hyperspace. And Rhya says, "You know what we haven't done in a while?" And Nash goes, "No." "What about some sparring in the cargo bay?" "What do you exactly mean by sparring?" "Remember our very first trip?" "Yeah, of course I remember." "Well, you were trying to shoot at me and I had to deflect your bolts. Let's do that again. We haven't done it in a while and it keeps the reflexes sharp." "Yeah, why not? Indeed, we haven't done that in a while." So we go to the cargo bay. It's empty because we don't have any cargo at the moment. And this is also where Rhya, in the time during hyperspace, does her training. And I also got some targeting remotes there. So she takes up a defensive stance, ignites her force blade, which is the Eldridian version of a lightsaber, and it's got this purplish, you can see it here, the purplish energy blade, and she takes up a defensive stance, and I get out my blaster, set it to stun, and again, just I did the very first time, I hand her the blaster to double check that it is really set to stun. And she nods, and then I take up position and I go, "Are you ready?" And she goes, "Ready." So in Mörk Borg, you shoot with your presence or use ranged weapons with your presence score, and you use agility to dodge. Usually it's a player facing. But since we are both players, I'm making a contested roll. So the brown die is Nash, the purple die is Rhya. Nash's got presence 4 and Rhya's got agility 4. So it's basically a higher roll. and we'll do a couple of turns here. Let's just say like I do 3 rolls, which are base abstracted into a couple of different training sessions. So I change position and stance and shoot low, shoot high, and shoot in rapid succession, and Rhya in her defensive stance focuses and tries to deflect the bolts. Oh, look at this. Critical success this time. And so in the first training session, pew, 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 she easily deflects, and just to showcase her superior skill, the last bolt, they're all stun bolts, she deflects back at me, pew, and I fail to dodge, and the stun bolt hits me, pew, and my arm goes numb, and the blaster drops to the ground. Damn, I go. I didn't know that you could also reflect these back to the shooter. I thought they could all only be deflected. Well, it takes a lot of skill, and I haven't really mastered the art of reflecting a bolt yet, but I'm working on it. Yeah, pretty good. Let's take a little break until I can lift my arm again. So then the numbness goes away, and second training session again. Pew, pew, pew. A few shots in rapid succession. But this time it's close, 17 to 18. So a couple of times I almost nicked her. Let's just say one time, the last time, I managed to nick her slightly at the shoulder. It only stings a little, but it's not a direct hit. And she also goes, but you're not so bad yourself. And I go, well, I try to adapt to your technique. And she goes, yeah, that's the good thing about training with a living being instead of remotes. All right, again, last session. Eight to 9. So again, I managed to nick her again, this time at the leg with the very last shot. So yeah, it's almost even, but I go, damn, it is hard to hit you, which is a good thing. He goes, yeah, thanks to you, I have managed to improve my technique, because you're also not a bad shot and hard to predict. Yeah. So what do you say? I think after work comes play. And she smiles at me. So what do you want to play? And I make some fancy maneuvers with the blaster like a gunslinger and slip it back into my holster. What about a little pillow fight? And yeah, you can imagine what that means, but we still have to see. Let's, you know what, for random encounter, let's roll Rhya's die, because she made the calculations. So on a 1, there will be a random encounter. No, a 4. Okay, so we spent some quality time together, and then roughly 9 hours later, it is time to revert back to real space, which we do, and we approach Velas. And Velas, little reminder here, it is an entertainment and recreational world where corporate times from Keldor, which is the sector's administrative capital, they go there to blow off steam. It features a lot of casinos and also resorts. It has a pleasant climate, tropical terrain. It has casinos, resorts, and hotels. we are approaching Velas Central. It is one of 5 starport cities that the planet has. And they have a steep, very steep landing fee of 500 credits that we have to pay. Velas Central is a cozy coastal town in a nice, warm, tropical climate, azure blue seas and oceans, sandy beaches, and this is where we land. So we are lucky. Oh no, it's a medium security, because in a medium security, I almost forgot. There was no encounter during hyperspace, but going by my framework, you gotta see here, arriving in a planetary system. It is a medium security system, so there's a 2 in 6 chance for a random encounter while approaching the planet, and also a 1 in 6 chance of someone that wants to inspect us, authority or empire in the worst case. So let's do the random encounter first. It is a medium security, so it is a 2 in 6. Low security would be 3 in 6, and high security only 1 in 6. So on a 1 or 2, there's an encounter. No, it's a 4. And now on a 1, there will be some sort of authority contact. Lucky 3. Okay, so we approach the planet. Everything is fine. And as we approach, I say to Rhya, well, Rhya, also ready to handle the landing procedures? And she goes, yeah, I think I am. Let me try it. And I go, she's all yours. And she goes through the procedures, makes contact with the starport, requests landing clearance. And then, of course, she also has to pay the steep docking fee of 500 credits, which she does. So I'm using her money for that now. So she's at 5,500, so that brings her down to directly 5,000. And she goes, damn, this is expensive. Yeah, indeed it is. But the modifications and upgrades we get are worth a lot more. So we land in this nice little coastal town. And let me get see if I can get a nice picture here for the atmosphere. Yeah, so this is the view as we approach the landing bay. So this is a Stellar class. Was it Stellar or Imperial class? A Stellar class starport. A Stellar class starport. So almost the fanciest and most modern class of starport. And it's the landing pads and docking towers are a little outside the city, and there's this monorail tube system that connects the starport with the city. But the starport is also big enough that if you don't want to make the trip to the city, all your basic needs and standard repairs and everything can also be done at the starport. Okay, so now we have landed. So I'm calling up Cassandra, the mechanic that we saved from the mob by helping her to pay back her debt. And I go, Cassandra, this is Nash. Remember the guy that won you the money to pay back the debt you owed? And she goes, yeah, of course I remember. I wouldn't be here without you. Let me guess. You're here to collect on your modifications, on your upgrades that we agreed upon. And I go, yes, indeed, that I am. But there's something else. I also need repairs. But of course, for those, I'll pay. Yeah, so you're lucky. I got a spot available in my repair bay. So why don't you fly your ship over here and I take a look? Okay, so we fly over there and set the ship down in her repair bay that she owns. Let me see if I can find her miniature here real quick. Because I cleaned up a little and all the miniatures are where they should be, but not easily within reach. Ah, here she is. All right, so that was Cassandra. So we set the ship down in her repair bay, and she takes a look at it and goes, ooh. So she walks around our ship, takes a look. You took quite a beating. And Nash just says, well, don't ask. Yeah, I wasn't about to. Okay, so going by the damage of the ship, and you said you wanted your sublight speed boosted and the shield generator upgraded. I will need 3 days with all the repairs and upgrades. And Nash goes, and for those 3 days, can we stay in the ship? And Cassandra says, well, I wouldn't recommend it. There will be a lot of fumes, welding, noise, and it'll be just an unpleasant experience. So I would prefer you get a nice room someplace, enjoy one of the resorts here, and come back in 3 days, and then it'll be all ready. Yeah, okay. So how much for the repairs? Yeah. So OC, I made a little note here. I think I was at 6 hull. Let me check. 6 hull out of 20 hull. So I need 14 points. And according to the rules, the Starship rules, I think it was about, let's see here, hull. It's about 100 to 250 credits, depending on the available facilities and materials per point of hull damage. So because she's got sympathy for us, I'll say it is 150 credits. So 150 credits times 14 points. Let me calculate this. 150 times 14, that is 2,100 credits. All right, let's make it 2,000. All right, so that'll be 2,000 for the repairs and the upgrades and shield booster. They're on me for saving my life and getting me the money to pay back the debt. Okay, so I talked to Rhya. Well, Rhya, I'm a little bit embarrassed, but can we split the bill? Because at the moment, I don't have that much cash on me. And she goes, of course, it is our home now, the ship. Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I still feel that the ship is somehow my responsibility. So I promise I'll pay you back. And she goes, well, I don't plan on going any place anytime soon. So yeah, if it makes you feel comfortable, do that. All right, so 900 from Nash. So he's at 900 credits and 900, sorry, 1,000 and 1,000 from Rhya. She's at 4,000. So we also need some work. Well, I'll see you in 3 days. You can rest assured your ship is in very good hands here with me. And if there's anything that I need you for, I know how to reach you. All right, then take good care of her. Yes, I will. So we leave. And I talk to Rhya. You know what I just realized, Rhya? Not just, but it's been on my mind for a while. Know what? Well, we do have a new transponder code, but sadly, I mean, the Never Too Late, she's not registered to me, but she's registered to whoever owned her first, so the vessel that this transponder code belongs to. So if there if they only scan our transponder code, it's all good. But if there's an inspection and they want to see my papers, yeah, I'm in trouble because my papers actually at the moment don't fit the transponder. And Rhya goes, damn, I think, yeah, that's definitely a problem. Yeah. So I think we definitely need to acquire a job to get some money, and then I'll have to make contact with one of my former associates and see if we find a good slicer who can get our paperwork in order. My documents as well as the registry databank at the Bureau of Ships and Services, abbreviated BOSS, and this is indeed so. I read it up in the Galaxy Guide on tramp freighters, and it's also in the, I think, a little passage in the base book, and so that there's some documentation that needs to get fixed, and yeah, that'll cost a little money. Yeah, so indeed, changing a ship's identity is a risky and expensive business. Yeah, that is true. If they lock your transponder, and you don't want to stay in the uncivilized regions, that is something you have to consider. Okay, so now we got 3 days. Yeah, let's get a room first, and then I'll see if I can make some contacts here for a job maybe. Okay, so let's shorten this. We get a nice double room for 3 nights. That is 200 credits a night, so that is another 600 credits that Nash is paying. So he's down to 300 now. And so we got 3 nights to spend there. And and I forgot to determine time of day. Let's just say usually it's a D20 and a D4, but we would have not have woken in the middle of the night. So let's see, it is 1700 hours. Yeah, that fits. So we arrived early afternoon. We made the arrangements, and it is 1700 hours as we have our room, and now we got 3 nights, 3 days to kill. And Nash goes, well, remember what Cassandra told us about organized crime families running the casino businesses and stuff, and doing things like extortion and protection money and everything? Well, I bet shady individuals like that also need some cargo, some not so legit cargo transported every once in a while. So let's head out tonight in the seedier parts of town and see if we can make some contacts. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so skip ahead a few hours. We have a nice dinner. Let's say it is 2200 hours. It is getting dark as we head out into the gambling and entertainment district, make our way through some seedy cantinas, and I try to make some contacts. And so I'm using the optional classes in my Space Borg document, and one of the classes is the scoundrel, which Nash is, and the scoundrel states here optional rules classes. So this is the entry for the scoundrel class, and this is of course familiar from those of you that have also downloaded my Stardark supplement, because it is based on that. The ability friends in low places. Whenever you are in a somewhat populated urban area like a spaceport, a city, or a space station, you might know someone who might be able to help you with supplies, information, repairs, or whatever it is you need. Make a presence check with advantage to locate a contact that might help you. You still have to compensate them, blah blah. The difficulty rating depends on the required service and security level of the area. Okay, so it's medium security, so I go with a standard DR of 12, which is like the standard DR for Mörk Borg. If it would be heavy security, it would be a higher DR. It's also steadier. Low security planet DR10, medium security planet DR12, and planet with strict laws DR14 or higher. And that is for reasonable tasks or favors. So I would consider, taking the background of the planet into account, I would consider this as a reasonable favor that I want, or I want to make contact to someone who can hook me up with someone who can get me a smuggling job. So it is a DR12 presence, and I roll with advantage, and my presence is +4. So let's see how this goes. Oh no, 4 and 5. So even with advantage, I don't make it. So it's 5 + 4, that is 9. So let's just say that this leads to, or I roll for it, because 70% chance that I get in trouble, because the established players in this area playing field, they don't like me stepping in. So 70% chance of trouble. $15, yes, of course there's trouble. So we ask around. So let's get this out of the way here. And wait a minute. And we are in a little seedy bar. Let's find a suitable map here. Yes, 7, 8. So this is the Loki Battlemats book of sci-fi battlemats. So we are here at the bar in this seedy bar. Let me check the camera real quick. Yes, looks good. And there are 3 people approaching. But not humans. So we have a Rhodian, and this is a Rhodian mercenary miniature. We have a Clatunian, I think. No, a Weequay, and a Quarren. And so they were sitting in this booth here, and this Rhodian, because the Rhodians, they have keen senses. And again, showcasing the product here, there's a species section in here, which is of course serial numbers filed off. So here we have the Sodians, and any similarity with Rhodians is purely coincidental. So they are reptilian-like humanoids with scaly skin and large pupilless eyes and suction cups as fingertips. And they hail from a jungle and swamp planet, are skilled hunters, and they have keen senses. All checks involving sight, hearing, or sense of smell are rolled with advantage. Okay, so he overheard the conversation that we had with some dude here at the bar who left. He couldn't help us. And there's some talk between those people here, and they don't really like it. And they get up from their booth and they corner us, or yeah, basically they take up positions that we feel uncomfortable. And immediately I turn to face them. So does Rhya. My hand hovers over my blaster grip, and this Clitonian is doing the talking. And he says, "Well, you're pretty nosy, sticking your nose in things that don't concern you, asking strange questions to strange people. We don't like that." And I just go, "Well, I'm sorry." "Sorry? You'll be dead soon. See, this is our turf here, and we can't have newcomers coming around and asking uncomfortable questions." And I just say, "Well, we don't want any trouble. We were done anyways. Let me just get the check and we can just leave and all go and mind our own business." I think it's too late for that. You need to be taught a lesson." And this is where we end this session. Not the season, that would be a short season. With this little encounter, so just the first warm-up episode, getting back into things. I hope you like it, and next time we will feature the Space Borg combat rules, which are basically Mörk Borg combat rules. See how this goes with this little Cantina encounter. So thank you for watching, and if you like what you see, do like, comment, subscribe, do all this YouTube stuff. And if you haven't done so, check out my publisher page on DriveThruRPG. Link will be in the video description. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.